Dragon Age 2 was rated M for mature by the ESRB and contains blood and gore, language, sexual content, and violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, my name is Amaronith and I play games for the internet, and today we're playing Dragon Age 2 with the start of Act 3, the final act of the game. I thought it was another time for Codex Entries, starting with items. Mantle of the Champion. Champion, an honor unique to the Free Marches. Other terms of reverence suffer the stains of their holders, the lingering baggage of office and entitlement. But champion is not an appointment that can be sought. It can not be owned or willed, and the process by which it is bestowed is not argued through policy or guile. It is earned with blood and sweat and leadership in times of great turmoil. Always worthy, as their deeds are of true importance, a champion is greeted not by debate, but by nods of reverence. The title was most recently granted in Tantervale, 882 Blessed, on the resolution of the bloody expansion of Navarra. Their king, emboldened by the taking of Perendale and the quick yielding of Hazmal, thought the remainder of the Free Marches an easy claim. He who became the champion, Cade Arvel of Ravain, did what Orlais had not. He stopped a nation in its tracks. There was blood and barter, but Tantervale is still free against all odds. There is the contradiction of the honor. Champion is not itself a sign of approval. He or she can be respected or feared, their coming dreaded as much as desired. All that is common is that they have an effect and lives are changed. Kirkwall now adds to the history of the title a first for the city. On this 934 Dragon, the Canari are repelled by means respected or reviled, and it remains to be seen what follows for this Garrett Hawke, the champion of Kirkwall. From The Champion, a history ancient and current, excerpted by Philium a Bard. Sataareth. Canari are a people of metaphors, and for them words have many meanings. Sataareth, the name given by the Arashok to this axe, means that which upholds. It is the word for foundation, defender, and enforcer all at once. That's all for that. Places. Nope. Lore. The History of the Chantry, Chapter 3. It is said that at the Battle of Valerian Fields, Mafarath stood and looked out over his armies. He had conquered the southern reaches of the greatest empire the world had ever known, and built splintered barbarian clans into a force to be feared. With pride in his heart, he turned to congratulate his men and found that they had turned from him. Mafarath fell to the evil of jealousy. After all that he had done, his wife was the one to receive all the glory. He saw his wife's power and influence, and tired of his place as second husband below the Maker. His heart swelled with fury. If he had conquered just to have his wife wrested from him by a forgotten god and a legion of faith-hungry rebel, then perhaps this war was not worth the trouble. Here, history and the chant of light come apart. History tells us that Mafarath looked north into the Central Imperium and saw nothing but more war against a rapidly regrouping army, and he despaired. The chant of light holds that Mafarath chafed with the jealousy of the Maker and the jealousy of the glory that Andraste received, although it was he who led the armies. Mafarath traveled to the imperial capital of Minrathous to speak with the Archon Hessarian. There he offered up his wife to the Imperium in return for a truce that would end hostilities once and for all. The Archon, eager to put down the voice of the prophet that stirred his own people against him, agreed. Mafarath led Andraste into an ambush where she was captured by Imperial agents, putting an end to her exalted march. Crowds of loyalists stood in the central square of Manrathis to watch Andraste's execution. By command of the Archon, she was burned at the stake in what the Imperium believed to be the most painful punishment imaginable. According to the Chantry, however, Andraste was instead purified and made whole by the flames, ascending to life at her maker's side. By all accounts, there was only silence where they expected screams. At the sight of the prophet burning, the crowds were filled with a profound guilt, as if they had participated in a great blasphemy. So moving was the moment that the Archon himself drew his sword and thrust it into the prophet's heart, ending her torment and leaving those assembled to consider the weight of what they had seen. Whereas the execution of Andraste was meant to be a symbol of defeat for the faith of the Maker, in truth it all but sealed the fate of the worship of the old gods, and paved the way for the spread of the Maker's chant. From Tales of the Destruction of Thedas by Brother Genetivi, Chantry scholar. Forbidden Knowledge. Tyrone's Book of Blood. Was Dabun Hate one mage, or a full cabal? I found another reference to Zebenkek in his black journal. The blood feeds, the blood nourishes. In blood the call is heard, in blood the deal is made. My master bathed in a river of blood, then the great Zebenkek came. Tyrone's Beginning. In 4-2 Black is the oldest account of the Forbidden Ones, though most mages consider them a hoax. But someone had to make the first deal, that first contact with the other side, from the unknown mage's account. The first of the Magus to cast themselves into the Fade in search of answers and power, always power. They found the Forbidden Ones, Zebenkek, Imshale, Gaxkang the Unbound, and the Formless One. Many conversations were had, and much of the fabric of the world revealed. Yeah. And thus the magic of blood was born. Even those who consider this folly dare not utter these names. Tyrone's Lessons. Everything you learned was a lie. Andraste was a deluded fool. The Maker was a hoax. There is far more evidence of the Forbidden Ones and demons than has been gathered over 1,000 years of a fictitious god. Demons are not enemies. They are tools to be used. Extract what secrets you can and teach others. Some of us will die, some will be corrupted, but each victory is another pieces of the truth we uncover. Tyrone's Beginnings, the 2. Inside the grimoire's pages were such secrets. A mage's rightful place is not under the heel of the Templars. We are masters of the elements. We call forth the spirits themselves. As far as we have advanced, the ancient Vinter mages knew so much more, and even they were only starting their journey to understand the nature of our world. We were never meant to walk among mortal men. We were meant to command them. Tyrone's Prophecies. The fell grimoire holds the names of power. It holds the key to their summoning. Zebenkek will return. He will feast on the blood of 1,000 of my enemies. It is inevitable. Excerpts from the last letters of Tyrone. I have copied the grimoire and hidden it. It must live on. It is the signpost of the path, and the path never dies. I have set guardians along it, but you must overcome them. Read the signs, my brothers and sisters, for even if my enemies destroy me, together we cannot fail. There are secrets undreamt of deep in the Fade. Therein lies our destiny, our salvation. Characters. Alistair. A hero of the recent 5th Blight, the Grey Warden Alistair is credited alongside the hero of Ferelden with slaying the Archdemon and sparing Thedas the ravages of the Darkspawn. Rumor has it that he is an heir to the Ferelden throne, but that he turned it down in deference to Queen Enora, daughter of the traitorous Terran Loghain. Knight Commander Meredith. I have sympathy for the mages. They bear a terrible curse, one that endangers not only themselves but innocents as well. We allow them freedom only at the risk of unleashing them upon the unwary. Knight Commander Meredith Stannard is a native of Kirkwall. An orphan who joined the Templar Order when quite young, she worked her way up the ranks with sheer determination. She is credited with removing the previous Viscount Perrin Threnhold from his position after he attempted to have the Templars expelled from the city in 921 Dragon. The acting Knight Commander was arrested and executed, and Meredith led a group of Templars into the heart of the keep to capture Threnhold. He was tried and imprisoned 3 days later by Grand Cleric Elthina, and died from poisoning 2 years later. Meredith was subsequently elevated to her current position. Many say the Templars fought only to preserve their own position in Kirkwall, not to oppose Threnhold's tyranny. Others believe Meredith has always held the moral high ground, even if not all approve of her methods. For now she enjoys the Grand Cleric's full support, and has free reign in Kirkwall as the commander of its most powerful military force. And First Enchanter Orsino. You deny us our freedom so that you may sleep better at night, but I say it is a restless and undeserved slumber. First Enchanter Orsino is an elf from the Free Marches city of Ansburg, who was brought to the gallows when he was very young. Some claim he became the youngest First Enchanter to hold the position in Kirkwall, not by his own merit, but because nobody else wanted it. He would call that cynicism. Someone must advocate for the mages, after all. Even if the job is thankless, the alternative would be for Kirkwall's mages to have no advocate whatsoever. For the past 5 years, Orsino has had constant, sometimes very public, disputes with Knight Commander Meredith. The common belief amongst the populace is that he's a troublemaker, possibly a dangerous one. Okay. Letters and notes. A letter from the Circle. My dear friend, I have obtained the books you requested. I'll leave them at our usual hiding spot. Please collect them as soon as possible. I would hate to see them in the wrong hands. Your last letter was fascinating. You have proven me wrong once again by doing the impossible. I shouldn't have doubted your resolve, and I hope that you will keep me apprised of further progress. Your friend and colleague, O. A scribbled note. Used quicklime to preserve her feet. Unsure whether texture of skin is to my liking. Will try other methods. A scribbled note. Marin. It's a pretty name. I saw her hands. Long, slender fingers, fair skin, the hands of a lifelong scholar. Oh, to lock my own clumsy fingers in hers again. A scribbled note. Today is our anniversary. Had hoped to complete my work before now, but one piece is missing. I am so sorry, love. Please wait a little longer. I hadn't forgotten my promise. When I see it, I'll know. I would know that face anywhere. The scribbled notes from, the serial killer that killed our mom. Meredith's apology. Monsieur Dupuis. Please accept my humble apologies for recent events. The Templar, Emmerich, has been reprimanded for his wrongful accusations and for arousing suspicions within the city guard that led to the raid on your estate. I will see that he is restrained in the future. Sincerely yours, Knight Commander Meredith. A thank you note. Gascard, thank you kindly for your last shipment. It arrived in almost perfect condition. The requested payment is on its way. Please use the artifact with care. The creatures can be difficult to control, even for an experienced mage. A pleasure doing business. Your friend. And a reply from Starkhaven. Monsieur Dupuis. This is in regards to your inquiry into missing mages. I would like to remind you that the duty of seeking out missing mages, if there were any to begin with, would fall to the Templars of Starkhaven, not to a minor nobleman from Kirkwall. I would also like to take this opportunity to remind you that the Circle of Magi, as a whole, does not welcome casual inquiries about mages in its care. Thank you, First Enchanter Radek. And that is that. As far as new Codex entries are concerned. So, that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, be safe, And I will see you all in the next episode. But until then, bye-bye.